At his inauguration as our nation's 35th president on January 20th, 1961, John Fitzgerald Kennedy memorably said, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." Today I would like to inform you about one of our country's most charismatic and inspiring leaders, John F. Kennedy, and the impact of his brief time in office on our country. Even though Kennedy was president over 50 years ago, his inspiration and call to service for so many Americans still provide us with valuable lessons today. I've been interested in John F. Kennedy for many years and have amassed a huge library of books and magazines about him and his entire family, so I consider myself knowledgeable on the subject. Today I will discuss a brief biography of Kennedy's life, review his inaugural address, and discuss the impact that speech had in the early 1960s and the irrelevance of the speech today. But first I'd like to inform you about the life of John F. Kennedy. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was born in a suburb of Boston, Massachusetts on May 29, 1917. He was the second of 9 children in a very wealthy, politically active family. His maternal grandfather and namesake, John Francis Fitzgerald, was the mayor of Boston for many years. His father, Joseph P. Kennedy, was ambassador to England during the Roosevelt administration, so politics was definitely the family business. Kennedy's wealthy family provided him with the opportunity to travel and to attend the best schools in the country, including Harvard. Kennedy lived the carefree life of a wealthy playboy until World War II intervened, when he became a Navy boat crew captain and in fact became a decorated war hero after leading his PT boat crew to safety. He later married Jacqueline Bouvier in 1953 and had 2 children, Caroline and John Jr. His young family became very popular with the media and was a big part of his appeal. After Kennedy had graduated from college, he had planned on going to law school, but then World War II intervened. His older brother Joe had been groomed to become the family politician, but his death in the war prompted John F. Kennedy to turn to politics and public service as his life's work. He served as a Massachusetts representative in both the United States House of Representatives and then the Senate before running for president in 1960. Now that you know a little bit about his life, I would like to discuss with you one of his most famous speeches. Kennedy's most famous speech was his inaugural address, which was given in Washington, D.C. on January 20th, 1961. And it includes several quotes that are recognized even today. His inaugural address informed the nation and the world of his plan for his entire administration. Kennedy stressed the importance of everyone in both America and abroad working together to make the world a better place. Kennedy's style of delivery uses many of the textbook examples in how to draw in the audience and to keep their attention. He speaks quite loudly and uses frequent and prolonged eye contact. He speaks at a slightly quick pace and with a very distinctive Boston accent. He uses his right hand in a downward chopping motion to emphasize his points. And most tellingly, Kennedy does not wear a hat or a coat even though the weather is freezing and the audience is bundled up. All of these verbal and nonverbal messages influence the audience to perceive Kennedy as a young, energetic leader who is eager to begin work. Kennedy's speech encouraged Americans to get involved with their government and memorably stated, "The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it, and the glow from that fire can truly light the world." Now that I've provided an overview of John F. Kennedy's inaugural address, I'd like to discuss the impact of that speech on our society. In the 1960s, Kennedy's youth and vigor encouraged many people, including young Americans, to become more politically active. One program that Kennedy initiated, the Peace Corps, was a hugely popular way for young Americans to serve in other nations and to encourage positive relations with the United States. The relevance of this speech today is that so many Americans are disillusioned with our government and our leaders. So that message is more relevant than ever, that if we Americans would focus more on helping our country and its citizens, rather than on our disappointment and disapproval of our leaders, we could all get a lot more accomplished. Today, my purpose was to inform you about John F. Kennedy, one of our nation's most inspiring leaders. Today, I have shared a little bit about his life, analyzed his inaugural address, and discussed the impact of that speech. One final note to leave you with: John Fitzgerald Kennedy was assassinated after serving less than 3 years as our country's president. He was only 46 years old.